Hey there, Wargamers. We are back with another episode of Initiation Wargaming. I am Austin from Brush for Hire and Death Ray Designs.
And I'm the Initiate, Chris.
So, if you didn't see the first episode, definitely go check that out. But just as a quick recap, this series is going to be talking about all of the topics we can think of that would be helpful for a new Wargamer just getting started, so that you can cash in on our experience and make fewer mistakes. Or just avoid tricky situations and find out where to get information that is pertinent to your new hobby. In this episode, we're going to talk about gaming conventions and specifically Adepticon, because Chris went to Adepticon this year pretty much not being a gamer at all, at least a war gamer, and just sort of got thrown into the deep end of the pool, finding out all kinds of new products and new things, new games, new everything, new community. So we want to talk about his first experience here in episode number 2.
It was non-stop, jam-packed fun the whole time. Even just standing on our feet for long periods of time, you knew you were having a good time. I think I was expecting to see a lot more stuff for sale from people like Games Workshop, because you hear so much about them in the industry and just how much of a presence they have, and where they did take up a lot of space in the gaming room. There was not really a whole lot of product, specifically by them. There wasn't a big GW presence, but there was still a 40K presence.
40K is still one of the most popular games at Adepticon. In fact, it's named for one of the sort of factions. Now it is an actual faction within 40K, the Adeptus Mechanicus. That's what Adepticon was named for. In fact, their logo is almost exactly the symbol for that faction. It started out as a 40K tournament, so far as I know. I may be wrong on that, but it was definitely a 40K event that grew into this much larger presence. You don't see a lot of direct GW presence there. You do see Forge World, which is a subsidiary of them, and they make some of the best models that comes out of that shop. They're like really boutique resin models, are fantastic. But it is a strange thing that Games Workshop doesn't come to events like that. For a long time they refused, because they had their own convention that they were going to go to and support and be a part of. But even that, Games Day, has sort of fallen off in years past. That is a keen observation. If you're going to one of these conventions looking for specifically Games Workshop products, your best bet is to look for third-party vendors that are selling Games Workshop products, or products that are compatible with Games Workshop, like our own. Any other things that you were surprised by there?
I think one thing that really shocked me was that there were just a lot of people that were really interested in such a wide range of things. There was, we had people come to the booth, for instance. We had people that came for every which way of game, and as Austin said, I was kind of thrown into the deep end, and I didn't even know some of the games, much less some of the mechanics of the games or the people of the games, and I kind of had to wade my way through. But after a while, I kind of picked up on a lot of things that were important to people about certain games, and then also was able to turn that around and use that when I went out on my own scouting mission, if you will, to go to other vendors and things, to really be able to say, oh, I heard about this, at our booth and whatnot. And so it was kind of it was unique in not being a wargamer, selling wargaming products, but also being there as I'm diving in the deep end, so show me your stuff. So it was kind of cool to see the wide range of what you described in the first video as the just beneath the can't even use my words right
just
now.
Beneath the surface.
That's right. That's what you called it.
So, of all of the games that you had never heard of before, that you were exposed to while you were there at Adepticon this year, what was the one that was most enticing for you?
It had to be Malifaux. I think Malifaux for me. Though I didn't get into it right then, we got back into right when we got back, because the models were just incredible. They're a lot of fun. They're kind of this twisted, some of them at least, are some kind of twisted, cute, nightmarish things, and I just gravitated towards that. And so even just recently I picked up some of the things that I was looking at Adepticon that I was like, man, I wish I had the funds to pick this up right here, and then turned around and brought that back with me, and wanted to get it then, and so now I'm starting up an army of the Dreamer and some of the Nightmares there, so really excited about that. But just to see them out at the Cool Mini or Not booth, for instance, just was really cool to be able to see the boxes, and they do a really good job for showing you what the minis will look like, along with a great piece of artwork on the box too. So I really kind of gravitated towards that.
We've talked about the games at the gaming convention. Let's talk about the things that aren't games. How did you feel about the community and your experience there? People that you met, demo games you were able to play after hours, things like going to get food and socializing. For people who haven't been to a gaming convention before, that may be a stressful point. A lot of people who play tabletop games get used to playing with their close-knit group of friends or in their local gaming shop, and it might be a less than desirable sort of thing for them to just jump in and go to one of these giant conventions with thousands and thousands of people.
Well, I think for me it was really cool to, it was actually intimidating at first to go and meet some of these people that you and I had spoken about beforehand, the Wargaming Consortium, and to meet some of the faces behind the names and whatnot. But everybody was great. Everybody was really fun to get to know, and what you can in 5 days. But then from there, just to build on those relationships. I met people that I've talked to a number of times since then. For instance, my friend Andy over in the UK, or Nestor, who's up in New England, doing his thing with Infinity, and just kind of just this group of people who I can look at now and say I shared an experience with them that was a lot of fun. And we just go get food and we'd hang out in the hotel, or we would break open a board game at some point. For instance, we played Imperial Assault because Adam wanted to play it and kind of bought into it hard.
Yeah, he did. Despite all of his testing that he was not going to buy it right then, and he was going to wait and get it later when he could get everything online.
His willpower was weak.
He broke. There are lots of things that you swear you won't do at a convention, and then you do. You're like, I'm not going to spend that money. I'm going to save. I'm going to get like one game, and then that's going to be no.
Yeah, the resolve was not there.
Yeah.
So we got a chance to play it because
I guess the lesson of that story is, if you're going to a convention, make sure you bring some spending money, because you will see so many cool things that you may have seen before online, but you don't get a chance to see it in person until then, and it's really enticing right then, and you don't have to pay for shipping. So it's definitely well worth it to bring a little extra spending cash if you can. I know it may not mean as much coming from me, but a lot of the people that you see on YouTube and on Facebook and everywhere online that are top name wargamers, most of those people are really approachable. And I said, being somebody who's involved with those people normally, people that I talk to on a regular basis, you might say, oh, well, just because you know them, you think that they're cool and you're already friends, so it's not a big deal for you. But I promise, they really want to share all of this wargaming with you, and all the fun and all of their interests. They want to talk to you about it. So it's a really great time to get to have a conversation with those people that you have watched on YouTube, that you admire, that you like their painting tutorials, to ask questions and pick their brain in person. I mean, we had folks coming into the booth, having chat with us or talking to Chung, or a number of other Wargamer Consortium people, and lots of people outside of the consortium that I watch on YouTube. I love getting a chance to see those people in person and make that personal connection. So even just that is really fun.
It's even fun now to go back and I'm watching all these videos that have happened over the years that I wasn't wargaming, and to be like, hey, I know that person. I actually sat down and had dinner with that guy.
Yeah. And though you didn't get to experience what the old venue looked like, the new venue for Adepticon is fantastic. It is so spacious and wonderful. The old place was really cramped because, Adepticon was just busting at the seams with the number of attendees. It's a really popular con, and it's popular for a reason. And there's lots of other great ones. In fact, I bet you wherever you are in the world, there's probably a gaming convention near you. Anywhere in the US, anywhere in Canada, anywhere in the UK, anywhere in Australia, I bet you've got someplace near you that is going to have a really cool, really big convention. Gaming conventions really are the backbone of the gaming community, I think. Even though you do a lot of your socializing online, it is really the lifeblood of gaming, getting that many people together and that excited in one place at one time, eating your meals together and playing your games together and buying your cool new stuff together, and just being in the same place. That energy just helps build all year long for you know, keeping you interested and keeping you really pumped and really psyched to play new games, to learn new things. In my experience, at least, conventions are a very important part of being a wargamer for a lot of different reasons that we've gone over so far. And I think it was a great place for you to start.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped in and said, hey, I'll go to Adepticon, and here we are, CMON Expo's coming up, and as soon as I heard about it, I was like, hey, I'm there, let's do this, let's do it again. It was so much fun. It was just, it was a good time for everybody, and it was you know, something different. It was something that you know, other hobbies have conventions, that wargaming has a community where you get to sit down at a table. You know, I've been to comic conventions, for instance, and you don't necessarily interact with other people the same way that I think you do at like a wargaming convention.
Definitely.
That is just, you know, it's super supportive and fun at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, we're involved in a lot of other sort of nerd fandoms, and I tell you what, it is really strange how cutthroat so many of those other fandoms can be for no reason, but the one that's actually a competition, everybody gets along so well. I mean, comic books, cosplay, everybody's at each other's throats for no reason, but wargaming, I feel like we've got it together. We're like a really solid community, and I think it's a really great one to get into. Everything
ends in a handshake and a smile and a good game, and you're on your way, and you're on to the next fun thing to do.
The vast majority of people that I've met, that I've interacted with, that I've played games with at conventions have been fantastic. So any other closing thoughts on Adepticon being your first gaming convention?
I think I had a unique experience. Like I said, I helped run a booth at the same time, but I would say a couple of keys. Bring good shoes. There's a lot of standing, a lot of walking around. Plan what you're kind of wanting to lean towards. Don't necessarily close yourself off to something that you, you know, maybe haven't heard about, but at the same time, know what's going to be there and know kind of some things that you're interested in. But also go and be social. We nerds are not always the most social people in the world, but you're there with other nerds. So just get in and jump in and you know, experience it to the full. It's a lot of fun, and even to a new guy like me, you know, now I'm in. I'm bought in.
I think that Adepticon is definitely a very representative type of place to get your first impressions. So I hope you guys enjoyed our ramble and rant on gaming conventions in general and Adepticon 2015 specifically. Thanks again. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and leave us a comment. What was your first experience at a gaming convention like? Did you have fun? Was it awful? Which one did you go to? Thanks again, and until next time, happy wargaming.